Let's do this. Ho, 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 ho. Man, all this killing be making me hungry. You know what sounds good right now? Some lasagna. You guys want to learn how to make some lasagna? I'm gonna show you real quick. Like, hold up. Let me get this off me real fast. All right. So, what you want to do first is get all your ingredients together. All right. So, like I said, you got to get all your stuff together. So you're gonna need some pasta. I got the Barilla pasta noodles. Those are the ones that I use. You're gonna need some ragu. You're gonna need garlic salt, garlic powder, ground beef, butter, baby bella mushrooms, and then you're gonna need two cheeses. You can use more cheese if you want. It's totally up to you. But I like these two. Mozzarella, of course, and then cheddar sharp. Not just regular cheddar or some weird nacho whatever. Cheddar sharp. It's gonna make a difference. Trust me. All right. And then also you're gonna need. It's not. I know it's not on the list and you don't see it out there, but there's a spray that you can use for the inside of the pan, and it's gonna coat it so that way when you actually go take your pasta out, it's not gonna be like all stuck in there and it's gonna break and fall apart and you're gonna get mad and cry and smack somebody. But it actually helps. But you can use butter, you can use whatever you want. But I like using this like spray stuff. You can get it wherever you're at the market and stuff like that. You know, easy, son. All right, baby, we're about to make some lasagna. Real easy. Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's gonna get burnt. Hopefully. All right. So to start, we're just gonna get those pasta noodles and we're gonna throw them in a pot. We're gonna get the water in there. You're gonna make it nice and hot. You're gonna want it to boil. You don't want it to just sit there and simmer. You actually want to eat sometime today. So you're gonna make them boil. You can throw them in there. This whole process is only gonna take maybe like 15 minutes. Throw the pasta in there, get it nice and hot. Throw a little bit of salt in there. You can throw a lot of salt in there. You're gonna taste it later on. So if you think about it, we got garlic salt, garlic powder. You don't want to throw a whole lot of salt in there. So just throw a little bit. You're gonna stir them around a little. You're gonna make sure they're all completely submerged. They're gonna change color. They're gonna expand a little bit. They're gonna get soft. Be gentle with them. Don't be sticking a fork in there and stabbing them, taking them out. Just be gentle with them. I use the little soft tongs to move them around. Once they're done after the 15 minutes or so, pull them out, drain the water, take the pasta out, and drape it over something. You can do as a hanger, shoe rack, whatever you want. I drain them over a bowl in the sink so that everything drips in there and everything's good. We're gonna set that to the side. All right, now we're gonna get the mushrooms and we're gonna cut them up. You can cut them up in little itty bitty pieces or big chunks. I like the medium size, like the ones you get on your pizza. Put those out, cut them all up, get your little pot ready, throw some butter in there. Now the butter, you can throw a little bit, you can throw a lot, up to you completely, whatever you want. But you're not going to use that sauce. You're not going to put it inside the lasagna. It's just there to help cook it. So we're going to throw that in there, throw the mushrooms in there. You want it to be kind of like at a medium temperature. We're not going to boil these. They're mushrooms, they're not pasta. But then you're going to get some garlic powder. You're going to use a 1/2 tablespoon. 1/2 tablespoon. You can use more, you can use less, but this is what works for the amount of lasagna that I'm making. So you throw it in there, mix it around. It's nothing fancy, super easy. Just mix it around. It's going to take you maybe like 7 or 8 minutes to cook it. Once it's done, get it, push it to the side. Now we're going to get the ground beef. The ground beef, super easy to do. You're not making a cheeseburger out of this thing. So again, medium temperature, get your ground beef, throw it in a pot, smash it up, basically like you're going to make tacos. Just cut it, smash it all up with the spatula. Then you're going to get the 1/8 cup of garlic salt. Not the garlic powder, garlic salt. It's going to look like a lot. Trust me, it's enough because you only got about a pound of meat there. So you're going to throw it out all in there, mix it around. It's going to change color, but be attentive to it. Keep smashing it around. You want little pieces because you don't want a big old cheeseburger for making lasagna. Super easy. Smash it all up. Once that's done, it's going to take you maybe like another 7, 8 minutes to cook that. Really easy. You're not going to kill anybody. It's super simple. Quick little side note, the meat, once you're done cooking it, you're obviously not going to just throw that big old greasy nonsense in there. You're going to want to drain the meat a little bit. You're going to get a little separator or whatever it is you got, like some wedge thingy. Throw all the meat in there, let it drip down. I used a pot underneath it or like a little pan that I usually cook other stuff in. Let it all drip in there for a little bit because you don't want it to be super greasy because if you do, your lasagna, it's not going to be lasagna. It's going to turn into soup and ain't nobody going to want none of that mess. All right, so you can let it drain for a little bit. Now you're gonna get your cheese and you're just gonna shred your cheese up. Super easy. I don't think I really need to explain that. Just shred your cheese. You're gonna use about almost all the cheese. It's a pound of each. The more you use, obviously, the more cheesy it's going to be. The less you use, the more meaty it's going to taste. I use almost the 2 pounds of cheese there. I know I used a big old, that looks like a big old block of cheese for the cheddar sharp. I did not use that whole thing. Don't trip out. Just use about a pound of each and you should be good to go. All right, so we're just about ready to assemble our lasagna monster awesomeness thing. Okay, now before you start putting anything in your little pan or pot or whatever you're using it for the oven, you're gonna want to either put some butter or some spray down. They have like this butter spray stuff they sell in the store. Just coat the bottom of it. You're not gonna crazy spray it. You don't want it dripping out of there. You just want a nice even coat on there. So that way when you actually go to serve your lasagna, it comes out in one piece instead of like being stuck to it and burnt and nasty. You don't want none of that. So you're just gonna spray all that stuff in there, put it down, and then we're gonna put your first layer of the pasta down. It should be nice and soft. It shouldn't be hard at all. If it's hard, then you've done something wrong. But it should be nice and soft. You're just gonna layer it down. You're gonna put some of the ragu on top of it. Then you're gonna put some meat on top of it. You can throw the mushrooms on there, and you're gonna throw your first layer of cheese. You want it to spread all nice and evenly. You're gonna pat it down, kind of get the little air bubbles out of there, smush it down. Then you're gonna make your second layer. Do the exact same thing. Ragu, the meat, mushrooms, cheese. Repeat. I did this 3 times. I have 3 layers. You can do 2. If you want to be thin about it, you can do just 1 layer. It's entirely up to you. But I did 3, and it's going to come all the way up to the top. It's going to come out a little higher than the actual pan itself, but that's fine because when you cook it, it's just going to go and it's going to shrink down and it's going to fit in there. But yeah, you're ready to go, and it's going to go in the oven. All right, so let's talk about some heat when you're cooking it. This is super important because if you've made it to this far and you haven't jacked everything up, this is super important because you could still jack something up. Now for the heat in my oven, I used 450, and I cooked it for about 12 minutes at 450. Now if your oven's like super cool and gets hot super fast, you don't have to preheat it, then that's fine. But my oven, I had to preheat a little bit, so I let it sit at 450 a little while before I actually shoved it in there. But once it's in there, you're gonna want to check on it periodically, even though you're gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna walk away. It's only been there for 12 minutes. Don't do that. Do not do that, because depending on how much sauce you use, you could dry it out really quick or just burn the heck out of it. So be attentive to it. Go check it every few minutes. Don't sit there with it open, when your head in there, just go, oh, is it cooking yet? Just check it every now and then. It's not really difficult. It's just sitting in there. But again, about 12 minutes. Once it's done after the 12 minutes, you're not going to take it out. You're going to leave it in there. You're going to churn your stuff up all the way up. You're going to do broil or whatever setting you have that's going to make it nice and crispy on the top, because this is the best part of it. I usually use it on a broil at about 8 minutes. That sounds like a really long time, but my oven's old. Your oven might be some like super cool, fancy nonsense in 2 seconds. But be attentive to it, especially when it's on broil, because it could burn like that, like in a heartbeat. Watch it. Trust me. Watch it. Once it's done, you'll know it's done by the color. Once it's got that nice like browning on there and stuff like that, it's ready to go, baby. All right, so the lasagna is done. Hopefully you didn't burn it. It looks like a giant piece of charcoal. But if it came out the way it's supposed to and you did everything that I told you to the T, yours should look like mine. Now tell me that doesn't look good. It is good. Always. Forever. Eat it, chop it up. You're welcome, all right? So I'm going to get back to my game, and you go eat your food, okay? Hopefully it looks like mine. If it doesn't, then I don't know what to tell you. Ooh. Mmm.